Should I buy a house now or wait to buy? This is the number one question buyers today have. Let's get into it. I'm not an economist, and whether we're heading into a moderate downturn, as the experts like to call it, well, your guess is as good as mine. However, I do know my real estate, and what I can tell you is the real estate market is changing. Let's take a look. Take a look at this 5-year look back of real estate sales in Ontario. The ups and downs we experience in real estate has always been there, with occasional blips like we experienced in early 2022. And we know one thing for certain: real estate will always appreciate. So do you buy now or do you wait? Well, that depends on your situation. Let's go through it. Are you looking to sell your current home and upsize into something larger? Many sellers are nervous right now, and I don't blame them. They look around and they see listings sitting on the market for weeks, sometimes even months. But guess what? You're now able to buy that same home for less and with conditions in your offer. So yes, you will likely be selling your house for less than you would have been able to in early 2022. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. However, you're also buying for less. And I'm talking about buyers saving anywhere from $25,000 to $200,000 on the purchase price of their home. That is significant. One of the exercises I love going through with my buyer clients is then versus now. So looking at a home and what they would have purchased it in, let's say February 2022, what the purchase price would have been, what the down payment would have been, the mortgage amount, the interest rate, and the monthly payments. And then taking that same home and looking at what we can secure it for today and going through that same criteria. And what's actually quite fascinating is in most of these cases, there isn't a major difference. And in some cases, I'm telling you guys, believe it or not, they are saving money. So I would encourage you to look at the numbers. If you want that worksheet, send me a message, send me an email. I'd be more than happy to send that over to you. But what I would encourage you to do is go through that exercise and focus on the numbers. Don't just feed into the hype and the media frenzy that you hear. All right, if you're a first-time home buyer, what you would have been approved for in terms of a mortgage in 2021 and 2022 is now going to be less. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. It is what it is. So, many lenders are taking precautionary measures, and that's understandable. But guess what? You're also buying for less. So just like our last scenario with our upsizers, the same applies to you. So the same home that you were looking at today would have cost you more, let's say in February 2022. Yes, now you're pre-approved for less, but you're also likely purchasing that same house for less. In addition, you're able to put in the right conditions in your offer to protect you. If there is one condition I would highly recommend during this time, especially if you're a first-time home buyer, and a great mortgage broker will tell you the same, it's your financing condition. Now, this is not a blanket statement, but simply just a word of caution, especially during a changing market. This is a very important condition to consider. If you're a savvy real estate investor, I don't need to tell you, now is a fantastic time to look. As a real estate investor myself, I like looking between the months of November to early January because regardless of what's happening in the economy, it's just a slower time in real estate, and it's a fantastic time to look for opportunistic deals. Now, if you are a first-time investor or you've thought about getting into real estate investing, now is a really great time to look. So what I would recommend is partner with a realtor who is investment focused, meaning they primarily deal with investment properties and they're local. Local is so key. And to the point where, wherever I buy my investment properties, if I don't know the area like the back of my hand, I'm partnering with another realtor and I choosing them to represent me in that transaction, even though I'm licensed to trade real estate in that area, because I have found that they have saved me thousands of dollars just because they know and they're able to advise me and say, okay, Melody, this block is good, but 3 blocks over, stay away from. And, if this is what your goals are in terms of renting the property and the types of tenants you want to attract, I would actually recommend this area. I don't know these things. I'm not from there. I don't live there. So my point being, always work with a local realtor who is experienced with investment properties if you're thinking of getting into real estate investment. All right, maybe you are looking to move outside of Ontario or Canada and you're wondering, well, do I sell now? Should I wait? And I think that really depends on a couple of different things. So first of all, where are you moving? Is where you're moving to less expensive in terms of purchasing a property than here in Ontario? So is your dollar going to go further there? And what does your timeline look like? Do you have a definitive timeline you have to move by? So if that is the case and you have to sell now, well, I guess you have to sell now. I mean, believe it or not, people are still selling their homes today. And believe it or not, there are still homes selling for within 5 days, within 2 weeks. It's happening and they're still going into multiple offers. So we're still seeing those things. And you're probably wondering, well, what do I need to do to have that happen to me? So I do have a video on how to sell your home fast in a slow market. There are some great tips in there, so check that out. But what I will say to simplify it is it comes down to 3 factors. It comes down to your price, it comes down to the location of your property, and it comes down to the condition of your home. Focus on those 3 things, and I promise you, you will be able to sell your home successfully. However, maybe you don't need to sell right now, but prefer to move sooner rather than later. Maybe you're moving down to Florida and you're looking forward to escaping the Canadian winter. I don't blame you. Why not consider renting your property in the interim? Believe it or not, the rental market right now is booming as more and more potential home buyers are opting to rent instead. This can be such a great way for you to collect passive income and allow your property to continue to appreciate. These are just points meant to get you thinking about different considerations and options. Remember, your access to a professional local realtor is absolutely free to you, whether you're buying or selling. So why not leverage that local knowledge, get to know what your options are, and make a decision. Go with what feels right to you. I'll catch you next time.